the main thing, we're in a long session this year. The Indiana General Assembly has a short session in the even numbered years, and we start the odd numbered years with the long session. That is the budget year. Indiana has a 2-year budget, so the budget is the #1 priority. It is House Bill 1001 because it is the #1 bill that has to get out. The only thing we have to ever pass out of the General Assembly is the budget, so we can pay our bills. So that came out of Ways and Means this week. When we talk about a structurally balanced budget, what that means is we are making sure that the money we bring in is spent in the year that it is budgeted for. Years ago, when I was on county council, and Eric's there, been there, and Tony's there, as president of the council, we'd always get this letter from the government, the state, that would say, you need to borrow money. Need to borrow money in June, and we'll pay you back in July. And I just thought, well, that's just interesting how they do that. Never knew quite why. Then I found out that they didn't have the money to pay us in June. But counties can borrow money, but the state cannot. So they pushed us back. So we never had a structurally balanced budget. The last several years we have had a structurally balanced budget. We're going to maintain that. Reserves. A lot of people say, well, we've got this $2 billion reserve. Why don't we spend that reserve? When we talk about road funding, they say, well, spend the reserve. We keep a reserve for 2 reasons. One is, it's like anybody else, you want to keep a little bit of money in the bank for the things you did not anticipate, the things you did not expect. We had money in the bank in 2008 when the recession hit. We were able to get through that. We had to cut some funding to things, but we didn't have to raise taxes. We didn't have to generate a ton more revenue because we were under budget, or under balance. The other thing it does is it maintains our AAA bond rating. And when you start to talk about AAA bond rating, a lot of people's eyes glaze over, and they say, well, what does that really mean? Okay, it means how we borrow money and the interest rate we pay on the money we borrow. Now remember, I said the state doesn't borrow money, but locals do. So the AAA bond rating, when the city of Bern does a water project, when the county does a infrastructure project, if they bond for that, they use the state of Indiana's AAA bond rating. That can mean the difference of an interest, a point or two in interest, which can turn into millions of dollars potentially in additional cost to a project if we don't have a AAA bond rating. One of the things that we keep a AAA bond rating with is our balance, is our reserve. It's having money in the bank.